Had to make sure my sound was on. Amen. I forgot all about y'all tonight. Yeah, y'all, I forgot all about it. My bad. I'm so sorry. So tonight, whether somebody's on here or not, I may stop the live and then come back and do a reread after dark, possibly. But tonight, oh no, y'all know I ain't used to putting on no makeup, put on some eyeliner. Amen. But tonight, I just want to talk about looking at the Anthony and Amber and his new desire to want Amber more and the flashbacks with Shayla and all that type of stuff. So I'm gonna wait to see if anyone else join. Hey, Carol, how you doing? Carol, I'm really gonna need you tonight as a moderator because you know people when it comes to intimacy, we don't want nobody to get out of hand in the comments. Amen. I'm doing fine. It's a little hot. I'm in my secret studio. Only place where there's some silence. Amen. A little quieter. Amen. Good to see you. Good. So tonight, y'all, we'll have grown folks talk. What is true intimacy? And I hope that. Thank you, Sugar. I got this haircut. Mm-hmm. Getting my Tiana on in my life. Mm-hmm. Try to go a little something, a little TT. You know. I hope I don't trigger him on. Amen. Having a great night. I am Clayton. I am. Hello, Nicole Edwards. Rhonda Phillips. Hello, hello, hello. Angela. Hey, Angela was here early. Y'all, I'm sorry it's a little late. I forgot all about the game, y'all. I forgot all about the game that was tonight. Amen. I forgot it was the playoffs. So if I have to get off here, I may come back later and do a late night with Auntie or something. But y'all, we got to talk about it. We got to discuss it because I see this Anthony and Amber thing in different lenses and different perspectives, if you will. So I'm gonna wait till a few more people come on, and we go jump right into it. We'll jump right into it. So let's get into it because people can push rewind and play because I really want to stick to an hour and give people time to respond because I'm pretty sure I want to definitely do a part two of this with married couples because I'm single. I've been engaged, but I'm single. Amen. So I really want to. I'm looking at this on the perspective of a single woman, and also I am a certified sexual health coach from Indiana University. I took the online course when I was a pre-romance consultant. So with that being said, I have some experience in that area. I have had consultations with married people, single people, uh, all of the above people. Amen. When it comes to sexual intimacy. So the number one house rules: no disrespect, no personal questions. Um, we just have a grown up conversation tonight. Part two of this, I plan on getting some married people in the conversation because they may see things totally different from me. But again, I have consulted with a lot of married people, people who were separated. I mean, I've heard it all. So when it comes to like sexual intimacy, it's nothing, that it doesn't make me uncomfortable. But it is a subject that makes a lot of people uncomfortable if you've never had that type of, um, if you've never had the real conversations. And a lot of us, when we grew up, including myself, before I had a pre romance, before I joined pre romance, before I ever went to a party for pre romance, and I'm not trying to plug them, but that was the organization that I joined. Um, Basically, I didn't realize that I didn't know nothing about what I was doing all this time. I mean, saying that in the sense of I had no idea what I liked and what I didn't like. A lot of times, especially old school, our parents didn't talk to us about the birds and the bees, or if they did, it was so high level. The number one thing we talked about was don't get pregnant. That was the biggest thing. Don't get pregnant. Don't sleep around. Those are the things that we were told. But we would never. we never really talked about the intimacy part of it. And I really think that that's what's breaking up so many couples today. Um, so many couples, so many situationships come out of this. So much cheating comes out of this. So we're gonna talk about Anthony flashbacks and the Shayla situation. Y'all, this is just my perspective based on my beliefs, how I was raised, and my experiences. And so my experience tonight coming from a point of a woman who has talked to married men. Talked to married men in the sense of they shared things with me when I was in that role. Like, why does my wife not want me anymore? Why does my wife doesn't desire me anymore? Um, Even as far as what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Situationships, just everyday guys or even guys that I've been involved with. So, so I would like everyone to listen from the lens of more so. I don't want to focus on um, will Anthony cheat with Shayla again and those things. I want to talk about intimacy because I think a lot of people don't talk about it. So let's get in. Let's get in here. Let's get in here. I hope I didn't sound like I was rambling. But number one, the flashbacks of Shayla. I don't think, I don't think it's so much his flashbacks were about this light tripping. His flashbacks were so much about Shayla, and I'm gonna tell you why I say this. The desire that he had for Amber, him wanting, thank you, Nancy, him wanting Amber, him wanting to love on Amber, him wanting to be with Amber, him just the sexual attraction to Amber, even though he was having this fantasy. What if we were to look at this from a different perspective? What if Anthony, we know that Anthony has a fetish. He has a fetish about, and I want to really get deep into this. Like, it's going to be a part two, y'all. So this is just high level at the surface, just breaking and opening up the discussion. Anthony has a fetish, a fantasy about a maid. We don't know where this fantasy started from. We don't know if he had some type of interaction with the maid. We don't know if possibly as a young boy, maybe a maid took advantage of him. We don't know. But we know that he has a maid fantasy. With that being said, is there anything wrong with a man desiring his wife? Now, what's wrong about it is him thinking about another woman. But is it wrong for him to want that fantasy? And I think we have to start from there with it all. There are so many, there are some people, I'm just going to throw some things out there. Some things I learned from taking the certification class, because it was some things that I learned about the different sexualities out there that I had no idea about. Y'all, it's everything under the sun. I realized that I'm a sapiosexual. A sapiosexual is a person who is turned on by conversation. And, it could just be like deep thinkers. I'm the type of person that if you can't have a conversation with me, ain't nothing finna happen. For real. I hate shallowness. You gotta think. You gotta be, tell me something that I don't know about. Tell me about a new invention, or tell me about something about a history I don't know about. That turns me on. That like gives my mind to, tell me about stocks and bonds. Tell me about something I don't know about. Come to me differently, like a blanket statement, or like a shallow conversation. Like, hey, what you do today? Where you want to go? What you want to do? And it's just like, okay. And that's probably why I'm single too, y'all, because I'm really finicky when it comes to conversation. Like I'm a conversationalist, like for real. Um, read the comments, and I'm gonna try to read the comments. I don't want to just be talking. I want to actually look at the comments too. Especially maybe I think there was a skit with him telling her about where he saw the maid, he was attracted to her. Yes, there is, and there's also the skit even when he came back to Amber, where he. I think that some people are getting wrapped up in a maid being a submissive, and It could be that. It could be that. Amber could get the baddest maid outfit. It doesn't make her be less of a woman. It doesn't make her be Shayla. It's not about her being a servant. It's about the fantasy of it. That's his fantasy. That's his kink. Um, some men have fantasies about police officers. They might want you to dress up like a police officer. They may want you to dress up like a schoolgirl. It doesn't mean that they like little girls. They like the outfit. They like the fact of they are the teacher and you are the student, whatever they're about to teach you. So again, I think a lot of people get wrapped up in this maid fantasy thing and thinking it's just about Shayla. I think it's about the fantasy itself. I think if the little blonde girl who be flirting with him, or even the old school woman, because I'm telling y'all she's a cougar, amen, the one who owned the restaurant, I think either one of them could dress up in a maid outfit, and it's going to turn him on equally because that's his fantasy. The maid outfit, the maid thing, that's his fantasy. It has nothing to do, in my opinion, directly to Shayla. Number two, a lot of men I've consulted with in regards to sexual intimacy. Some men have said, my wife, and we grown in here, so nobody under 18 in here. Amen. We finna get grown. We'll have some grown folk conversation. There have been men who said, my wife loved oral pleasure before we got married. She did it all the time. Then when we got married, she didn't want to do it anymore. She stopped. So I asked that person, and you learn this through the class because there's a lot of sexual kinks, sexual fantasies, and sexual people who hold back sexually tied to some type of trauma that happened to them. So this particular guy, he was one of my homeboys, and it was his wife. And I said, have you ever asked her why she doesn't like to do it? He was like, what? No, because she did it before. Why she can't do it now? I said, could it be that she loved you so much and she knew that's what you wanted? And then once y'all got married, she got more legs. I said, talk to her about it. He went back and talked to her about it. Her desire not to do that anymore was tied to an SA. And if you don't know what SA is, it's a assault that happened to her when she was younger. That's why she didn't like to do it anymore. She did it before the marriage because she knew that was something to please him. But as the marriage and as the relationship grew, she's like, okay, I'm married to him now. So she started pulling back in that area. And it wasn't because she didn't want to please her husband, it's because it brought back that memory of what that other person did to her. And that's why we have to have real conversations. Even with the Shayla deal, we ain't got the backstory yet. We don't know what the backstory is. But is there a possibility that something happened to Shayla that make her toot first? Because that's not something that most women go straight to or they start out with. And it's the illusion of it all. Same thing with Libby. Sometimes if a woman is going straight to that, which ain't nothing wrong with it, amen. I learned in the class, all that good stuff. If you prepare for it, if you are not, if you relax yourself, but that's another late night with ReRe. We'll go over there later on, and I might do that for another channel, or I might do that in a private chat because I want to make sure that the maturity level is there when we talk about these different subjects and these different things. I don't want nobody to go off the wall. Amen. That's why I really need my moderators, and I know my moderator Vaughn. She's out. She's having some she's doing her thing with the hubbies. They married, and then now you see she's with her hubby. So I don't have, and I got some narrators on here. So I just want to make sure my moderators, please make sure that the chat stays or remains in a respectful place because we want to stay there. That's why I'm not going too deep into it, but I may have some lives, private lives or off chats or whatever to discuss it in more detail, like a private thing or whatever. So, and Nancy too. Yeah, I forgot Nancy. I can't see all of them all at once. Let me move this cursor thing. Yeah. So anyway, sometimes the things that people don't want to do when they get married are tied to that. Third thing, I used to tell. I asked one of my friends. I said, so She don't have a desire to have sex with him. I said, so where are y'all having sex at? He said, at the house. Where else we gonna have sex at? I said, where was y'all having sex at before y'all got married? She might come over my crib, I might come over her crib, or we might get a room. I said, take her to a room. He said, what? Well, why would take her to a room? We got a house. I said, how many kids y'all got? We got 3 kids. Okay. So when you get home and the kids, even if they go somewhere, uh, I said, y'all got a wash and dry in the house? He said, yeah. I said, y'all got a stove in the house? Yeah. What they got to do with anything? Take her somewhere where she ain't got to think about after I'm doing this, I got to go wash some clothes, which is the situation with Amber. A lot of women don't feel sexy in the house because they know they got to go wash clothes right afterwards. They know they got to, oh, did I leave that? Did I leave the stove on? Same thing with a man. Did I take the trash out? Did I do this? Take them somewhere else. If Anthony want what he want from Amber, take her out the house. She don't want to be thinking about, oh, is Shayla finna come pick up Ty or Kai in the other room? Amen. Take them away. Get them away from the work, the drama, all of that. That's all a part of the fantasy. That's all a part of the excitement. I'll take y'all back even further. Y'all, remember when Anthony used to cheat with Wayne? Was it about Wayne or was it about the adventure Wayne gave? Wayne had that big old house, different rooms at that time with no kids there. So it was a free for all. She had fun with Wayne. He made her laugh. It was exciting. Nothing exciting going on at the Dalton house at all. If you take nothing away from this life, sex should be an experience. It should be an event, not a task. I'm going to repeat that. And my moderators, each one of my moderators, put this in the comments so that it can get through. Sex is not with the person you love, with your husband, with your significant other, because marriage ain't for everybody. Sex is not a task. It should be an event. Sex should be an event, not a task. An event, not a task. Remember that. Nobody wants to feel like they obligated. Even men. This goes both ways, ladies. I'm not just saying this to ladies. It goes both ways. A man wants to feel like, hey, I'm the man. He wants to feel like he king, King England. Amen. And the woman, she wants to feel sexy. I never forget, it was a guy I was crushing on. Amen. Years ago. Years ago. And we were all outside having a conversation about what men like, what women like. And he said, it's a big turnoff for me when my woman comes to bed like with a t-shirt on and a bonnet on and all that. He said, I want her to dress up in lingerie. And I was like, man, y'all say y'all want lingerie, but then y'all take it right off. He said, he said, it's just the sexiness of it and the empowerment of it. You like the woman to look good. And, we had our situationship for a while. Amen. Until I was younger. I'm going to say I was younger. But he never, for the, I would say 2.5 years that we encountered, he never seen me in the same thing. Never. Amen. Never. When I say never, never. Amen. That's when she and them start blowing up and stuff. Never. Every single time, something different. I'm talking about the wig, I'm not going to talk too much here, but I'm just saying, adventure. An adventure, a story. Those are who you're on here tonight. If you're married or you got a relationship or you're with somebody, spice it up, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And I think people are making it dirty that Anthony is desiring his wife or he having these flashbacks. It's not about Shayla. It's about the adventure that she gave. I'm even go here with y'all. When Amber pursued Mike, remember that night at the condo where Mike turned her down because he was with Ro? Amber had the ambiance set, she had the room set, she had on her sexy lingerie, and she was trying to seduce Mike. How many times have we seen her do that since she been married? I'll wait. I'll wait. Please give examples. I'm just saying. Even the first time her and Anthony crossed the line, even when Anthony used to be Cookie Monster, Amber was not turned on like she was turned on with Wayne or how she pursued Mike. Go back and look at the footage. She was never. She never like. Remember the time when he was still. It might have been when he came back or he was still cheating. Remember the time she came to bed and he was like, "What you got on?" She had on some pajama pants set and she had a scarf on her head. Go back and look at the footage. He was like, "What you got on?" And she said, "Come on, baby, I'm ready." And he looked at her like, Amber has not had the same sexual energy or the upbeatness that she has with Anthony. Like, seriously. I'm just being 100, y'all. We having grown folks conversation. Amen. The thing that got Anthony to turn around that day when he tried to turn around from Shayla, what Shayla do, Shayla. That's why mom's still there. And it ain't because she's a better woman. It don't make them better women because they do that. It's just that they are feeding into that fantasy. They feeding into that zone. Amber did that. When you go back and look at that footage, which the night she tried to seduce Mike, I think I got a playlist to say Amber and Mike. Amber had it all, even when her and Wayne first crossed the line at her house. Look at what Amber got on. Look at the little nightie she had on to watch TV. I would even go far enough to say, y'all, she not sexually attracted to Anthony like that. And we don't want to have these hard conversations about it. It's not just about the woman either. It's a two-way street. This marriage, since it started, amen, y'all, has never, it's always been kind of transactional. He wants the trophy wife. She wants the husband in the house. It has never been about chemistry. Think about Anthony and Roe, when Anthony and Roe was together. He never asked her to dress up or put on the no outfit or nothing. But remember that first night he had with Roe when he made Roe that picnic? It was an event, not a task. And with Amber, that's the thing that's missing. If she would do things, and I'm not blaming her for it because she has her reservations or whatever, but I'm just saying the reality of sexual intimacy. I'm going to go even further. Amen. Sexual intimacy ain't all about sex. Something that was so intimate to me the other day when I was watching the skits. It was when Angelina came in and she was like arguing. She was like fussing about Coca. She had on the white with the little jacket. They had just came from them. And she was like, and Diesel immediately got down on his knee and took her shoe off. That was intimate. That was intimate. Because he as a man went down into the servant role, like, I'm gonna serve you. And she instantly shut up like that. What really turns a person on is knowing that y'all have that connection, y'all have that energy. As we get older, I talk to a lot of women and they frustrated because they men may have high blood pressure. And every man don't want to take them pills and risk losing his life just to have, intimacy. Intimacy can be massaging his feet. Intimacy can be massaging his back. Intimacy can be making him feel like the king. Just like when he first came home and she came on the porch and she was like, but even that night, that outfit wasn't sexy. I'm just saying. And the men for us, sometimes the woman, sometimes it ain't about sex with us. If everything, amen, if everything ain't working properly, amen. We finna get on Anthony, Angela. It's a two-way street. If he want Amber to activate, amen, take Amber to Jamaica. Amen. All them fine men that do the massages and stuff. I guarantee you she'll come home and she'll be ready for you, Anthony. You have a maid outfit or the Caribbean outfit. You have every outfit you want. Take her somewhere. Get her away from working and babysitting Kai. Amen. She want more than the cookie monster. She want that pie. I mean, oh Lord, I said that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm speaking too freely. I'm sorry. Somebody stop me from speaking freely. I spoke too freely. But take Amber away from it all. Amber always in work mode. Take her away, Anthony. If you want her to dress up in the maid, go buy the outfit you want. An expensive one. She don't want the Sheen kind either. Go buy her an expensive maid outfit. Go buy her the red bottom stilettos to wear with the outfit. And Amber can rock it. I promise you she can. And got the body for it. Take her away. Take her away. And to the, if it's any men on here, that's all that women want. We want to be taken away. Cow gun, take me away. Amen. You want me to stop freaking freely? Carla, I stopped freaking freely then. I'm sorry. Amen, Angela. That's exactly what I'm saying. We've been on the female, now we're finna get on the male. Men, if your situation ain't situating no more. Amen. Y'all know what I mean. If your situation ain't situating no more, you still got your mind. And if that don't work, then you got other stuff. I mean, I'm just saying there's other options. Amen. One of the biggest things, so as a pre-romance consultant in Texas, it's illegal for us to have a party with men present. Like men and children cannot be present at our parties. But we did used to have something called open house. So open house, we couldn't like show what the toys do or what the different items did. But if a couple asked what this or that was, we could tell them. Or if they want to consult behind closed doors, we could. We just couldn't openly like show couples toys and stuff like that. It had to be in a private setting. Or if they asked us a question, we could answer the question. So I'll never forget, it was like a hood. It was in the hood. We did one. We had these dudes, like they in their 20s, they YNs, basically. And there was this remote control. We're finna speak freely. I'm finna speak freely. So it was a remote. And so with the remote, it's like, the female will put it on one, and we also got some for men, where the men put it on one, and then the other person has the remote. I will never forget this grown Negro. He was like, "You do what?" Like a kid. Like, "What, babe? We can do it." Of course, I didn't stop him because I was making the commission off of it. Amen. Amen. And he was just like a kid in the candy store. She told me, "I ain't never seen you get that excited over over no toys." And I tell women, I say, you got to introduce it to them slowly. You can't come. It's different ways, and I'm getting to the point. The point I'm trying to make is there are different ways to satisfy your partner. You ain't got to go in there with no big fake, situation. Amen. Dangling it. No, any man ain't gonna want that. Like, what the hell you doing with that? What you gonna do with that? A real one. But if you go in there with something that they can enjoy with you, so he can enjoy me by pushing that remote and making her activate, and at the same time she activating, and they activating together. They got apps and everything now, y'all. I'm telling you, but that's another class for another day. And then y'all gonna have to, I have to go have to do, like a different, setting for them. Amen. I mean, I know, did I say that right? Lord, I don't want nothing to come out wrong. But I'm just saying consultation. Amen. But with all of that, men and women, we got to learn the different levels of intimacy. Intimacy is not just physical all the time. It starts in the brain. In the chat, and I'm going to wait for at least 5 answers. What is the biggest sex organ in the body? Does anybody know? I basically done told you, but I want you to put in the chat, in the comments, what is the biggest sexual organ What is the biggest sexual organ in the body? Most people get this wrong. But what is the biggest sexual organ in the body? Drop it in the comments now. And I'm going to wait. Look at back at the comments. I'm gonna look at the comments while as I'm doing this. Let's see. If I'm doing recording, it's not gonna be anything to play his part. Yes, of course, and that's all I've been saying, Angela, in this last few moments is it's not just about the woman, it's about the man. Anthony needs to free her. But I want Angela, okay, somebody said the mouth. Biggest sexual organ in the body. Anne Marie Dennis, Angela, who in the chat? Carl, Nancy, if you're in the chat, I want everybody to drop in there. What is the biggest sexual organ of the body? Hands, eyes. Okay, these are some good answers. Keep going. The most powerful sexual organ in the body. What is it? So we got Donna said the mouth. Gwen said hands and eyes. Anne-Marie Denise, what do you think? Love language. We're going to talk about love language in a minute too. So now we're talking about the biggest organ in the body. Let's go tie into love language. Carl say the tongue. Okay. Nancy say the private part. Okay. I'm going to get a couple of more answers. Angela say the nipple. Okay. I want all of my moderators to put this in the chat. The biggest sexual organ in the body is the brain. It is the brain. The brain. And this is based on any sexual health class you take. This is based on the certification. It is the brain. Because nothing can start in the other areas without the brain. It is the brain. I want all my moderators to put this in there so we can have a record of it. It's the brain. The biggest sexual organ in the body. And the reason why, if you think about it, if you are stressed out, if you are angry, if you are, and this is for men and women, it just ain't for women, because I know some people will say, well, man can, you can touch them and this, that, and the other, but it still starts here, the senses. That's why it's an art. I hope I'm saying it right. It's called tangent. And it's I think it was Gwyneth Paltrow did a whole little show on Netflix about it. They would get very, very close to a person. So this is the person, maybe they back or something, and they would do like this, and they would just put the hand, not touching them, and they would do that for a series of minutes or whatever, and the person would start getting, aroused or whatever, and they haven't even touched the person. And that's why it's not about the act of sex. It's up here. That's why I said in the beginning, if Anthony really wants to activate Amber, get her away. Tell her how sexy she is. Tell her how she turns you on, which he's doing those things. But he still got her in that same element. You're trying to romance her and have sex with her in the same house, same bed that you was with Shayla with. That ain't sexy. In the same kitchen she got to cook in. Take her somewhere. Get her out the house. You be sexier. In the brain, it starts up here. That's why porn is so popular everywhere. Porn. 9 times out of 10, if you're watching porn, you're doing that by yourself. But the images is what gets you aroused. You're putting yourself in that scene, perhaps, or you're looking at something that triggers something in your body. It's a mind thing. Same thing with men. Some men may have ED issues. A lot of it could be medicine, the medications they're on. Even with women, sometimes Women can have problems with lubrication because they on diabetic medicine, or you're on a medicine that that basically, I don't want to speak too freely. I don't want to say I said too much, but things like that, medications can do it. What you're eating can do it. Body odor can do it. Amen. Starts up here. Man go out, he been working all day long. He tired. He thinking about paying the bills. He thinking about this, that, and the third. And then, you might be in the mood that night and he not. It's not because he cheating. It's because he thinking about, I got to get up and go to work in the morning. I got to pay the kids tuition. I got to do this. I got to do that. So we have to get into, we haven't grown folks conversation, Patricia. We haven't, I'm speaking freely. We haven't grown up conversation tonight. I'm just, FYI, just warning. And Angela, I totally agree with you. Anthony has not done anything just romantic. The most romantic we've seen him was with Ro, I would say. That's the most romantic I've seen Anthony be. Because he really did romance Ro. And I think that's why they had a connection for so long. Even though she was the cougar. That was the most sensual he was. They had a real connection. That's when Ro was walking around talking about she was free. And she wanted to be free. Amen. So Anthony, he keep on talking about Amber, Amber, Amber. He's not doing his part. Amen. So it's a two-way street. It's not about, you can't put it all on the woman and you can't put it all on the man. If your man can't perform for whatever reason, it could be sickness or whatever, find something creative to do. But you got to ease them into it. A lot of women try to force like toys and stuff like that. We call them bedroom accessories. They try to force bedroom accessories on the man. But if he old school, he might not be into that. We used to have this toy was called Opening Egg. And it looks like a massage or like a hand massage. So what you would do, we would tell the women, say, start out, massage his neck with it. He don't know what it is because it look like hand massage. Massage his neck with it. And then say, hey, now you massage me. His dirty little mind go there every time. And guess what? You done introduced him to something new. I'm just saying. Auntie never had a client that came back they continued to buy from me. Amen. The company done went in a different direction, but they did it. I think I probably saved a few marriages. I'm just saying. You got to get to know each other. But Nancy say cuddling. Cuddling is something. The last thing that she wanted was Rose when she came. Yeah, did was the Rose when she came back from Detroit. Something like cuddling. Y'all might hear hollering from the background. They watching the game. I saw an old video of Anthony where they really changed his character. Oh yeah, you can look at mine, Patricia. I have a playlist. They're not in order, y'all, because it's too much time. Because there's like in this series, I think there's probably about 6,000 or more. It's probably like 6,000 or more videos with this storyline. So it's not something that that I can what do you call it? Go back and put it in order because it's hard. I tried. I at least made y'all a list where y'all could go back. But role playing, yes, role playing is another thing, and it goes back to the maid thing. Y'all, I really don't think it's so much about Shayla than the fantasy. Amber is a baddie. Amber look good. Amber, I believe that this is just my belief. The reason most men don't leave their wives when they cheat is because they really want their wives. They would love for their wives to do the things that other person do. Same thing with women. They love their husband. Their husband is a provider, but they go elsewhere because that husband working so hard, he may not be able to give her what she need in that other regard. What Anna Marie say? Anthony is mostly on his phone. Amber is bored. Yeah, they don't pay attention to each other. They really don't. And a lot of times when people been with each other for a long time, but they get out of that honeymoon phase, they don't pay attention to each other anymore. They don't do those little simple things. Sometimes when your spouse done had a, and like I said, I've never been married. I've been engaged, and thank Lord, I'm bit Mr. Willie on it, and I'm so glad. Amen. But I said if I ever get married, it's gonna be to death do us part, and he go get about 20 different people. I'm just saying, you know, you might get an auntie one night. Hey, sugar, let me go make you something to eat. You want something to eat? Let me go get you something to eat. Yeah. Let me take care of you. Yeah, you need a foot massage. Mm. Then another night he might get, mm, you been a bad boy. I'm gonna have to punish you for what you did. Where my handcuffs at? Or he might get, uh, he might get the school good. Can you teach me how to? I'm just saying. Nancy, come on, Nancy. Run his bath water. If he been working hard all day and you want to get some, run his bath water. Massage his back. Hey, man. And it shouldn't feel forced. I know I've seen in the comments here, um, some people, yeah, that's why the men love they love that daddy thing, daddy. And sometimes you might, hey, daddy. Something that I was at a church one time and they were talking about relationships and stuff like that. And the pastor said something that stuck with me. He said, every man wants to feel like a king, but sometimes he want to be pampered like a little boy. And I'm gonna say that again. Every man want to feel like a king, but sometimes they want to be pampered like a little boy. They want to lay on mama's chest. They want you to rub their head and let them know everything gonna be all right. I got you. You my baby. Every woman, and my this guy I used to date or whatever, he told me that once. He said every man want his woman to be like his baby. That's why you have a lot of older men a little bit younger. Not a little bit younger, but traditionally, most of the time, the man's a little bit older than the woman. And, unless you're a cougar, went through that phase. But anyway, but just like, yeah, ooh, Donna, come on, Donna. Donna, shower together. Shower with love. Wash his back. Amen. But every woman wants to, that's what a whole baby term came. Hey, baby, to be his love interest. You know what I'm saying? It's about the intimacy of it all. It's about the taking away all that other stuff. All Amber do is work. Same thing with Angelina. Angelina's in love with Diesel because he's nurturing. He's a nurturer. That date they had on the back of that truck, that was so freaking romantic. With the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Forget a steak. That peanut butter and jelly sandwich would have been a misunderstanding. Just saying, it would have been a misunderstanding with the peanut butter and jelly. That was so romantic. It was so intimate. Yes, Patricia, we need more loving relationships. That's why I'm so mad at how Rafi did Sade. Sade gave him something that when nobody else in Skip Mountain getting. Now Dominic was kind of adventurous with Mike. Remember they used to blindfold and everything. There's a reason he keep going back to Dominic. That's all I'm saying. There's a reason. Amen. And I'm not saying that a woman or a man has to do wild stuff, but you do what your partner likes. You find out what they like. So many people they'll get married or get into a relationship or something, and then you find out later on, then you like that's weird or I don't like that. Your dom is crazy. Yes, Diesel brought something that Brody did. Brody businessman, he can put it down, whatever. Well, I'm not sure he can put it down no more. The way Pam looked frustrated over there. But the intimacy, I had started putting music to songs or whatever. And that song, I think that song is so beautiful by her. It's called Comfortable. I feel so comfortable with you. And it's nothing like somebody who makes you feel comfortable, makes you feel sexy, makes you feel at peace. Um, and that's what a woman wants. Sade, when she dressed up for Rafa in that black trench coat, amen. I'm trying to buy my mama the coat today. The trench coat. She put on that black trench coat. She gave Ralphie books, something to speak to his intellect. And then after she did the books, she said, "Here go these books. Now, bam, I'm your biggest cheerleader." And had on a cheerleader outfit. Went to do it on a cheerleader outfit too. But anyway, dress up in a cheerleader outfit. Be his and let him know, baby, I'm your biggest cheerleader. These are the things. That's why I say stop. We need to stop looking at. Let's see, Patricia. These are the first men to truly explore Angelina. Yes, than a business partner. Angelina didn't want to be looked at as a "I'm your business partner." She wants to be looked at as "I'm your woman." And we see how she was able to soften. Amen. Even Greg always in power mode. Brianna brought something different to him. Brianna now cooking, cleaning, cooking, and she was laying it down. And now he gonna miss that. Now I guarantee you he gonna want to circle the block. Yes. So they was doing her thing for us. She did. And Rafi didn't appreciate that. And that's where the disconnect comes in. Let's talk about love languages. I'm not a material person. Like I'm not into the materialistic stuff at all. That's not my love language. But I do like gifts of affirmation. I do like, um, people, I like thoughtfulness, the thought behind it. Not the money behind it, but the thought behind it. Like, somebody getting your favorite candy or those type of things. So that's my love language. Somebody else's love language may be gifts. Your gift shows you how much you care about me. Some people are into that. Some people are acts of service. Person gonna fill up your gas. I might be acts of service too. They know something is stressing you out. You don't like to go to the grocery store, so they go to the grocery store for you. You don't like to. You hate filling up your car. They do that for you. And those type of things. I think I would be acts of service, acts of love, affirmation, those type of things. Those are the type of things. And like I said, speak to my mind. Don't speak to my body. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the things that create comfort. But also to your man, you need to learn what he likes. Every man don't, men might not want you to bring them a rose. Again, they may want you to massage their back, massage their feet. They may want you to cook for them. Amen. And the cooking is a form of intimacy. Like with one thing about Anthony, he loves Amber's cooking. That's something Shayla couldn't do. But that turned him on just as much. Why not wear a maid outfit while you cook for him? That way you're speaking to his fantasy and to his stomach. Bam. Can't nobody mess with it. And I did a little thing the other day where I said never let them leave home with the tank empty. Amen. Make sure the tank is full. Amen. I mean empty. I keep on saying it wrong. Empty. Because the tank is full, he needs to release somewhere. The tank is empty. Ain't nothing to do. Somebody walk up to him, they can come out with the booze in there. And he can be like, "Oh no, I'm good. My wife took care of me. Yeah, I'm good. You ain't got nothing I want. She cooked breakfast in the maid outfit. I don't want you. I don't want nothing you got to offer. Amen. Thank you though. I appreciate you go to somebody else. hmm I ain't even trying. I'm happy. Same thing with a woman. Man, you just he done ran you through that before you go to work. You gonna go to work happy. Hey y'all, how you doing? Yes. Good morning. You be on the what you call it? You be on Teams. Hey y'all, how y'all doing this morning? You you happy all day. The guy at work trying to holler at you like, you know who my husband is? My husband has ran me through that. I'm not concerned today, sir. You have a good day though. I got a husband at home. That's what it's about. Those simple things. She could, the baby, Angela, come on. Just throw on them heels, girl, and make it a day. All that back and forth and don't want to do it. Like this morning, that was sad to me because I'm sorry, y'all. People are focusing on him fantasizing about Shayla. He fantasizing about the fantasy. He want that fantasy. He don't care who it come from. Now he could try to go back and get Shayla or whatever because he know what Shayla do. All Shayla has offered him, and Iman, and Mike is a sexual experience, but she can't offer them nothing else. So men will circle back with you not because they love you, but because you giving them an experience that other women didn't get them. And so yeah, they go circle the block back. Yeah, they go want you back because you're doing something that the average woman not doing. The average woman not dressing up. She not putting on no outfits. She ain't ordering this thing unless it's Halloween or something. Be different. Think different. Whatever it is that your spouse or your significant other like. Amen. Don't let your man leave because somebody doing. Same thing with the men. Don't let your woman leave. Take her out the house. She don't want to hear the washing machine going on while she trying to take her business. Amen. She don't want to hear the dishwasher going. Amen. Take her somewhere. Away from the house, away from the kids. Amen. It's a two-way thing. It's not just about the woman, it's the woman and the man. Amen. Nancy, you done got the Nancy, you come in too freely. Nancy is coming good. Nancy say her house is good. Nancy say she ain't got them type of problems. Shayla, he the only one to miss the things Shayla used to do for him. Yeah, he was not. It ain't no love. It ain't no love. Now ain't now the hotel, not the motel. I ain't going to no motel. Now. The goddamn standards. Yeah, Lord. You don't want to get no bring no bed bugs nothing like that back home. Amen. What they did to get the person. And what I was saying earlier, Patricia, even like with the men, when a woman doesn't want to do certain things, you have to get to the bottom of why she did it before and doesn't do it now. Because like I said, it was a situation with this guy, and he said, my wife used to do this and that, and the third, she used to get down before we got married. Then when she got married, she stopped. And I said, have you talked to her about why she stopped? And then he found out that it was because of an assault, the reason she didn't want to do that particular act anymore. And she never really liked doing it, but she knew it was something that he liked. So anytime he would ask for that, it was like a task, not an event. It felt dirty to her. So he had to get her out that mindset of it feeling dirty and let it be something intimate. Baby, I told him, said, tell her you love her. Tell her when this is between y'all, you're not doing it. It's not a thing to hurt her or to belittle her, but it's you want to share that love with her. You know, when Anthony made her breakfast and put that book in, amen. Amen. That's why I say it's a two-way. So we can't just look at it as Anthony perverted. Because some people are like, oh, he perverted, oh, he's sick, he just wants Shayla. No, he wants the fantasy. He wants the fantasy. No matter who that fantasy comes from, he wants the fantasy. He wants the freedom. Just like Amber. I don't feel like Amber was ever sexually attracted to him like that. Just go back in the skits and look at the outfits and the stuff she did for Wayne and the stuff she did for Mike when she was pursuing Mike, that outfit she had on. She don't dress like that for Anthony, y'all. She don't. I'm just telling it like it is. Pray under the sea and say yes and try not to turn it around. But he need to do his part too. I agree with Angela on that. Anthony need to step up. They both need to step up. They should have never stopped getting counseling. Cause now it's a thing where if they still had a good counselor in their life, look, I can come on the show as not they maid, I can come on as their counselor. Hmm. I might come on back on here as the coach. I just thought about that. I might have to do that, y'all. Anthony wants what she's done for him. He did not miss Shayla. Yeah, it ain't about Shayla. Yep, a new therapist. Yep. And like I said, with Roe, if you look at it, y'all, Ro and him, he did some romantic stuff for Ro. Stuff he's never done for Shayla or Amber. For real. When he first came to Skitlana, he was smitten by Ro. He wanted Ro from day one. I'm just saying, y'all. And I think that's why it was so hard for them to disconnect. Let's go even further with this. I'm gonna try to just do an hour so people can catch the read thing or whatever. And y'all feel free if y'all would like to do the super chat or something. Y'all welcome to do so. Amen. If y'all want to leave a love offering, y'all welcome to do so. Amen. Y'all welcome to leave the love offering. Y'all want to. Let's even look at Ro and Malachi. Malachi was a alpha male. Remember when they used to have that van rocking? Amen. Even they had their issues, even though they had been apart for all that time, Malachi spoke to Ro's love language, that kinky side of it, you know, they kept the van rocking. Amen. And that's why he could talk to Ro the way he talked to her, because he doing what he supposed to do. But you can't walk around like with the little ankle syndrome. You gotta be that. You gotta be that man to take control. Sometimes you just gotta walk up and, okay, yes. We ain't never seen Anthony do that. Anthony ain't never been like, he'll say what he wants and stuff like that. And Anthony kind of corny, y'all. Amen. Anthony could not do nothing for me. I'm so serious. And I'm not saying because he's a very handsome man and all that. But just again, I told y'all at the beginning, I'm a sapiosexual. So it's about the mind. It's about the way you carry yourself. It's about being that king and that you the man. Every woman wants a strong man in her life. And I think that's why Ant don't do it for Amber. I'm sorry, y'all. They not in love with each other. They got love for each other, but they not in love. They don't have that passion for one another. I'm sorry. They do it. They lay down with each other, but there's no passion. Her and Wayne had passion. Even though Mike didn't cross the line and he stayed faithful to Ro when she came on to him, they still had even more chemistry. When Mike was in there singing, "Seems like you're ready, girl, are you ready to go all the way?" When Mike got to singing too, it seemed like he was ready, but he stopped himself. So I'm just saying, y'all. Just saying. Yeah, Mike a dog now, but he still know how to snake walk. Got him going crazy over him. Got twins on the way, and I think Melissa was backtracking. She wanted to, just like J-Mo. J-Mo get that energy. Like, him and Melissa will always be tied together because they got that chemistry. It's about the chemistry of it all. D and Tamara, Honeypot, they got chemistry. Anthony and Amber, y'all, they ain't got no chemistry. And people get mad and all that, they ain't got no chemistry. None. Would Anthony participate in the fantasy? What you say? Would Anthony participate in the fantasy that Amber and Wayne did? What do you mean by that? Fantasy Amber. Can you agree on that? Thank you, Suzette. Thank you we got a love offering here. Hold on. You got a love offering? Hey, man. Thank you for the love offering, Suzette. I appreciate that. Agree, Anna Marie, but he needs someone to tell him what to do. Yeah. So, like I said, y'all, it's not all about Anthony. It's a two-way street. Because I'm sure Amber wants an alpha male. I'm telling you, if we ever were to see an alpha male come into the scene and pursue Amber, it's over with. It's over with. I think why her and Victor didn't make it, Victor was not an alpha male. He didn't come across with that. He was nice looking, but he wasn't an alpha male. Kelvin, before they totally demasculated and destroyed his character, Kelvin would have been that alpha male for her. And I got a feeling, I'm thinking, will they ever bring him back and like kind of try to reform or reshape, because he can be redeemed, y'all. Even though he did Dalen wrong, they still had this back and forth kind of going with each other. So even though he did Dalen wrong, um, I still feel like they could bring him back, especially if Noelle is not in the picture. They could bring him back as her love interest, because that was the one that I really wanted to see. But then when he messed with Brittany, it kind of messed everything up. But the man that, because it's not gonna be Wayne, because we know Wayne is went on. But the man that gets Amber's true heart will be an alpha male. I hope they bring back the dude from Detroit. I really do. I hope they bring back the dude from Detroit. But yeah, Amber needs an alpha male, and Anthony's not. He's not an alpha male. Money don't make, and I think a lot of men don't realize that money does not make you an alpha male. Your bank account does not. I've worked with some powerful men in corporate, and that right there, man, that's all I'm gonna say. You can have the money, but if we in a board meeting and you are simple, you not speaking up for yourself, or you passive aggressive, that's not sexy. Don't be passive aggressive. Don't be sneaky. Because I've worked with men who came across, and they wanted to be powerful, and they wanted to be that man. But when it all came down to it, you passive aggressive. You really not the man. And you can tell who the man is versus somebody who's trying to be the man. I would even say, I even take it here, y'all. Amen. I'm gonna take it here. If Amber really played her cards right, she could be the one in control. I really think, even though he liked the maid thing and all of that, I, she really could dominate Anthony, to be honest. And I think he'd go for it. Because when y'all think about the way he used to respond to Shayla. Even though Shayla would submit when it came to that, in the everyday life of it, Shayla would talk to him crazy. And he would sit down and bow down to her. So he the type that would, I ain't gonna speak too freely. But y'all can fill in the blank. Mm, I'm just saying. And Amber played this thing right. She could put on a, and that's I heard some, I read some comments rather, where some people were saying that he wants to like degrade Amber by having her put on the maid outfit. Amber can put on anything really. Amber put on, let's say Amber put on a bad outfit, just the most beautiful maid outfit ever, with some red bottom stilettos. She could dominate him in that maid outfit. So we got to stop thinking about the maid outfit as something that is meant to be degrading, because she could very well take the big seat and be the big dog in the relationship and flip that all the way around. But the key thing is to be open minded. And that's what I want from this part one of Grown Folk Talk with ReRe, part one, is I want us to look at this differently. It's not about him necessarily wanting Shayla. Now, now that he think he got the money, he feeling like a big dog right now. The extra tip to the dude, and I'm even thinking he might even buy Shayla that car. If what's his name? If Iman don't do it, he'll try to spin it like, okay, I'm doing it because I want my baby to be in a safe car or something like that. He'll try to spin it to his advantage, of course. But I'm thinking that he might even buy the car for her. He might even try to creep with Shayla again. But it's not about being in love with Shayla. It's about him know that it's a free fall with Shayla. And he even said it in his own words yesterday when he was talking about Amber. He was like, I just want her to be more free or whatever. But Anthony, those of you who still want them to stay together and want the marriage, I'm sorry. I don't see it. Because at the end of the day, they both want something from each other, and it's not love. It's not love. The foundation of their marriage wasn't love. They're not in love. They're not attracted to each other. You can have sex with anybody. But the biggest sex organ in the brain, I mean, sorry, in the body, is the brain. Mentally, Amber can't do certain stuff with him because she's not there with him mentally. Their whole marriage is a facade. Because if you truly love someone, you're going to embrace their wants. You don't have to give up your needs to give them what they want. And that's all I'm going to say for that tonight. I'm going to keep it to an hour, y'all. And I'm going to try to come back at least once a week and do a live. But we're going to do a second because I want to do a grown folk talk with ReRe. All my married people were busy tonight. Um, I hope to do one with Deontay, with Nanya Sis, with Von Voice, where we can sit down and they can give it from a married person's perspective. I'm giving from a single person certification perspective and experience. But I would really like married people to come on and kind of talk about the different things. And some of the things that I told you were things that were told to me by married people and people in situationships and whatever else, or just regular everyday relationships. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Suzette, again for the super chat. I really appreciate it. And the best is yet to come. We'll go keep on watching and see what this thing gonna be. And I'll probably come on later on just talk about my predictions with this new friendship. I think this friendship is gonna be the start of the breakdown of the marriage. Because Amber gonna find out some stuff with this new homegirl. I forget her name. She gonna find out some stuff about her husband, about their dealings, and I really thank Elon. Oh, there's a whole bunch of more on here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm talking. Thank you so much, Patricia. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all. I wasn't even looking at them all. Thank you, girl. Thank you. It was a whole bunch of comments left. Okay, before I get off here, let me go down. Amber business partner in the club would have been an alpha male. Yep. Anthony has potential to be an alpha male. He got the potential, but Anna Marie. Anthony believed money is love. Plus, yep. Yeah, I remember when she said that. She did say that. Now, I do want to say this. We talking freely. Y'all, I don't agree with that. Like, I always say when that song came out with, what's her name, Megan Thee Stallion, and she was talking about was it Megan Thee Stallion or it might have been Cardi B? Anyway, in the song, they were talking about size. I will say to the day I die, size does not matter. It does not. I'm not going to go into detail why it don't matter. I'm going to have that in a private, female-only group. Like I said, when I do, I might just open up you know, YouTube has a thing where you can have like a membership or a certain webinar. I may do like a webinar, but it'd be just for females only. And the reason for that, it is a safer space because when you talk too freely, and that's one reason why we could never have men in our at our parties, is because sometimes when you talk too freely about certain things, especially sexual intimacy, the lines can get crossed. Like I tell my homeboys and different people all the time, you know, my homeboys know me, and they know ain't nothing. But I can talk so casually and so freely about different subjects because, like I say, I got a whole certification. But some people will still take it the wrong way. And so that's why I have to always give my disclaimers and say, hey, you know, and sometimes I don't mean no harm. You know, I just speak freely, if that makes sense. I just speak freely. But but I thank y'all for all that. I know my mama talking to me. Let me get that one out. But we're gonna have a part two and we're gonna do a webinar again with the ladies only and we can speak freely. But I do want to have a live, hopefully, whether it's on their format or on here with Deontay, he's married, with Vaughn, and also with Nanya Sis. Those are the people I know. And if there's another male that listens to this, would like to be a part of the chat, that is married or been married or engaged or whatever, I would love it. Because I think it's something that needs to be discussed. Because based on, again, all the comments people were saying about the situation, it's not that deep. It's about learning your partner and knowing your partner. It's not about Shayla, y'all. I really don't think it's about her. He go think of her because she did those things, But I think anybody who comes along and do those same things, he'll be just as smitten. It's not about love. It's about passion. It's about what that person likes. Simple as that. All right. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Please, thank you so much for continue to click, share, and subscribe. Really appreciate y'all. And more to come. And to then, y'all have a good night. And those of y'all who married, y'all have fun. That's yours for the rest of your life. Have fun. Enjoy your partner. Know what your partner like. And if you're not getting what you want, y'all talk about it. Talk about it. Communication is key. Communication. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Bye bye.